here's another early morning video before I start teaching here. Another look at drop 2 voicings and why they're so valuable and why the approach of knowing a chord voicing is really relevant and really useful. So for example, we're just going to take a very straightforward C7th chord in drop 2 voicings. It's first inversion. So you must know the names of the notes: E, B flat, C, G, and also that you've got 3rd, flat 7th, root 5th. That means that you can take any one of these shapes and make a change to it, transform it, however you like to look at that terminology. So I can go from a very straightforward sounding C7th to a C7 sus, which is a great sound, incredibly usable in lots of contexts. And then I can do that with the next inversion. I know that the 3rd is here, so I just raise that to become another inversion, this time second inversion of C7 sus, and so on. C7, C7 sus, C7, C7 sus. Okay, so each time I'm aware of where the E is and what I need to do to turn that into this sus chord. And this is not the only alteration you could make. Again, one of the real benefits of doing this process of drop 2s, going through the continuum from sharp to flat, is that you can see that just one note at a time changes. So we've got C major 7th, C dominant 7th, C minor 7th, C minor 7 flat 5, and C diminished 7th. But we can also change any other note. If you want like a particularly hip chord like a C 7th that's also got a 4th. So we take the 5th away, get rid of this 5th and get, so we've got, again, that's quite a modern sound that again you hear a lot in the younger generation of the jazz guitar players around these days. They have the 3rd and the 4th in the chord. So you can get to those easily again by knowing where the G is, changing that to an F. Knowing where the G is, changing it to an F. Knowing where the G is, changing it to an F. Great, incredibly useful and evocative voicings. The final one, know where the G is and change it to the F. You might recognize that kind of sound from Mike Stern, who's been using that for about 40 years. Great noise. So it just shows how one thing can very quickly lead to another. And I really encourage you to continue exploring that and see what happens when you change other notes. Like, say for instance, I won't go through this, but just explore this as an idea. Take the C7th and this time sharpen the 5th. Just follow the instruction, sharpen the 5th in each voicing. See how that works out. So this is an incredibly useful type of voicing, and not only that, the approach of moving one note to another note by a tone or by a semitone and just seeing what you get. And of course there are a whole lot of other implications when you change the bass note too.